What's happening, everybody? It's Huffman here. Welcome back to Shopping the Point Hockey. And finally, the Stanley Cup final is over, and the Pittsburgh Penguins secured back-to-back cups. First time it's happened in nearly 2 decades. You guys know the whole thing by now. The last team to win back-to-back cups were the 97 and 98 Detroit Red Wings. And gotta give it to my man Tommy C. He flat out called this last summer. I really don't know why I didn't believe him right off the bat, because coming into this season, the Penguins had pretty much the same roster that they did when they won the Cup last year. Again, just hands down having the best roster in the league, having depth at all 4 lines, and even going into the 5th line. Even the guys who don't even play, when they get in the lineup, they contribute. And that's usually what it comes down to. That's usually how the Stanley Cup final is decided. Who's going to hoist that Stanley Cup usually comes down to the team that has the most depth. And obviously it also helps when your top 2 lines is one of the most dangerous offenses in the league, and then you combine that with the fact that your bottom 2 lines are getting their fair share of points as well. It just makes the Pittsburgh Penguins so difficult to beat, and that's why they've hoisted the cup these past 2 years. And if you really think about it, ever since Crosby and Malkin won their first cup, they've had a ridiculous roster for the last 8-9 seasons or so, and honestly, you probably could easily make the case that they should have more than 3 cups in that span. They really didn't take it till that next level until a season ago when Sullivan takes over as head coach. And at that point, the Penguins, everybody thought they were dead. They got off to a ridiculous start, then Sullivan gets in there, and they haven't looked back since. A full season and a half of straight-up dominance from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And you also got to tip your cap to Mario Lemieux, who, by the way, was the last person to win back-to-back Conn Smythe trophies until Sidney Crosby did it last night. Phil Kessel should have won it last year, and if I was picking the Conn Smythe Trophy winner this year, I would have given it to that kid Jake Gensel, who was absolutely ridiculous, or Evgeny Malkin. I mean, hell, Gensel tied the rookie playoff scoring record with 21 points in that 6-0 blowout. But, he's not the media darling that Sidney Crosby is, but, I think he's going to look past that and be more than happy to hoist his first Stanley Cup. But all that aside, back to Lemieux and Rutherford. Tip your cap to them, man, for making all the right moves, piecing this roster together, and looking like straight-up geniuses for holding on to Marc-Andre Fleury. Obviously, we know Matt Murray is the goaltender of the future. Hell, he's only a rookie. He's still a rookie, and he has 2 Stanley Cups. My God. But the genius of holding on to Marc-Andre Fleury, everybody thought, Marc-Andre Fleury still wants to be a starter in the league. He can be a starter in the league. You figured that the Penguins are going to deal him at the trade deadline, and they never did, and a lot of people thought that was a huge wasted opportunity for the Pittsburgh Penguins to get a pretty decent haul, going down the stretch. I think a team would give up a really good amount to get Marc-Andre Fleury between the pipes, but the Penguins decided to hold on to him, and luckily they did, because the first game of the playoffs, Murray gets hurt, and then Marc-Andre Fleury steps in. I'm going to screw that up one of these times, but Fleury steps in, and, he does what he needed to do to give the Penguins a more than better chance to advance to where they were. And then, of course, Murray steps in the Eastern Conference Finals and plays absolutely out of his mind, and that carried over to the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I know he had a couple hiccups in the first 2 games in Nashville, but he's showing why he is going to be a great goaltender in this league for many years to come. And then they continue to find what seems like a bunch of guys from local beer leagues to play defense for them this season, because it seems like every defenseman that put on that Penguin uniform got hurt. That's what it seemed like, and all these guys like Hainsey, they step in and do their part and played a very solid defense down the stretch. So you look up and down the entire Penguins organization, and as a collective unit, I don't know if there is a better run organization in the NHL. Maybe the Chicago Blackhawks, but they've been taking a couple steps back the last couple years, so we'll see what they can do. But as of right now, there is not an organization in the NHL that comes close to what the Pittsburgh Penguins have done and could very well continue to do next year and the year after that. Now, as for the other side, the Nashville Predators, who took the defending Cup champs to 6 games, and honestly, we can all make the case that that game could possibly still even be going on right now. You had the goal last night that wasn't a goal because the ref blew the whistle before the puck went in the net. I still don't know why that rule has not been changed. Clearly, Murray did not have the puck frozen, and Sissons gets screwed out of a goal last night. And then, of course, you have Hornquist, the former Predator, get the go-ahead goal, which ended up being the game winner. Then Hagelin puts in the empty net goal. But that game could have easily went to overtime last night, and we could very well not be talking about the Penguins being Stanley Cup champs and the Predators taking the Penguins to Game 7. But unfortunately for the Predators, that goal was disallowed, and they weren't able to muster anything after that. Throughout this entire postseason, a large part of their offensive production came from that defense, and that defense was playing phenomenal on both ends of the ice. They weren't allowing anything in the defensive zone. If a team was getting a shot on goal, it was being blocked, and when Pekka Rinne was being a brick wall, the Predators were just next to impossible to score on, and that's why they only lost 2 games at home this entire postseason. PK Subban took his game to the next level, and, I made the case that the Canadiens won that Subban-Weber trade, and, well, now that may have been flip-flop because PK Subban was unreal for the Predators this year. Everybody loves him down there, and when he's playing with Matthias Ekholm or Roman Josi, Yannick Weber, the list just goes on and on for this Predators defense because they are flat out disgusting. And really, outside of Philip Forsberg, you weren't really scared if an offensive player got the puck on his stick for the Predators. No, you did not want that defense firing the puck because it seemed like every time a Predator defenseman shot the puck, it ended up in the back of the net. And you knew you weren't going to get the puck past Pekka Rinne, and with that defense being as locked down as they were, you saw it with the Western Conference teams. They had no answer for the Predators' defense. They were a real gritty team the entire postseason as well, hitting everything in sight. And again, outside of Philip Forsberg, through the first 3 rounds, really didn't get a lot of production from your top offensive guys, and also losing Ryan Johansson. That probably, who knows how this series would have went if Johansson was in the lineup. And even though Colton Sissons had the playoff of his life, you can't be relying on a 4th-line guy to carry your offensive production. But, hey, the Predators have nothing to be ashamed about. With this deep run experience now, all these guys on this roster having that deep playoff experience, and they got a lot of young guys on that team. This team is going to be very dangerous for many years to come, and if Pekka Rinne can continue to play like he did in this postseason down the stretch, when they got hot, the Predators are going to be a threat to make another deep run next year. And now, really, for the first time, everybody in the hockey world had their eyes on the Nashville Predators, and people have now, they've now seen how good this team is. What a good hockey town it is. I still think the fan base, they need to learn, some of their chants and stuff, like DMX is not country music, so I don't get why that's your power play song. And the fact that you don't sing along with Bobby Roode's theme song, Glorious, oh my God, that just pisses me off to no end. But, people are going to be keeping their eyes on Nashville from here on out. And again, I believe they're going to be right back where they were next year. They're going to be right there in the mix to contend for their first ever Stanley Cup. But that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below, or shoot me a tweet at JeffHuffman87. And if you want to check me out on my own channel, you can check me out over at Huffman's Hangout. Do a bunch of game streams, some rants, stuff like that. Basically whatever's on my mind, so you can check me out there. And I'm not sure if it's in the description of this video, but if you're looking to get yourself in better shape, be sure to check out my Advocare link. If it's not in there, I'll post it in the description. Be sure to check that out if you're in the US or Canada. A lot of top athletes are using it. Guys like Joe Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Mr. Carrie Underwood, Mike Fisher, Ryan McDonough, guys like that. So you guys know this stuff is legit, and you've seen what it's done for me. Hey, you want to ask me questions about that, shoot me a tweet on that as well. But other than that, smack that like button on its big fat chin, share this around, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.